Hello everyone, welcome to Let's Talk Tobago. I'm Amadara Mills. In this week's episode, we're here in the heart of the Republic Day celebrations taking place in the East, Roxborough to be exact. It's a day packed with activities, from the Republic Day parade to the thrilling regatta action, to the evening celebrations with a cultural show and fireworks. We're here to bring you a taste of it all. So get your favorite drink, sit back, relax. Let's Talk Tobago starts now.
Whoa, welcome to paradise. You will feel so nice in Tobago. This party island, we vibes it strong like white rum, boy. Party sweet on the road. From your reach, you go know. It's bacchanal non-stop. This song go leave we and come back, boy. Party sweet on the road. From your reach, you go know. Come join the Onion Band.
The Republic Day Parade started 4 years ago as a way to share our national celebrations with those in the east of the island. Members of our armed forces proudly marched from Lamy Road in Argyle all the way to the Sid Gray Sporting Complex in Roxborough. The parade contingent includes the police service, the fire service, the defense force, the Coast Guard, and the prison service. Even our little ones in clubs like Scouts and Cadets also lined up to march. Have a look at the highlights from this year's parade. Another element of the day's celebrations is the Powerboats Regatta, a racing event for our sea sport lovers. In that spirit, let's power into that segment. We have here with us one of the members of the organizing committee. Can you give us your name and the organization you're representing?
My name is Arnold Lindo, and I represent the Tobago Association of Powerboating and Aquatic Sports. We try to bring the boat racing field back to Roxborough. Roxborough used to have something called bumboat racing, right, which is now dormant. My grandfather, Carlton Lindo, he was the organizer of the bumboat racing in Roxborough. It used to be an Easter event here in Roxborough. So this Republic event sort of like replaced that Easter event. Right, Roxborough used to be packed with people for the Easter Regatta, right? So the powerboats are now used to regenerate the boat racing sport in Roxborough, Tobago.
Now, is it very significant that you all have it on Republic Day, this regatta? Tell us the importance of having it on Republic Day.
Okay, well, I think this event was brought to Roxborough by Mr. Hilton Sandy in his time, right? And after he demitted office, Roxborough felt that this event needed to continue, right? So the villagers formed the organization so that this event can continue.
I wanted to ask you, as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, how do you feel that we are celebrating 46 years as a republic?
Well, it's a great feeling, right, as a republic. Tobago on the whole, so much to do on Republic Day. We had the march past this morning, and then today now the boat show. Later on we'll have the cultural events. So Republic is really you know, a bright celebration in Roxborough.
So we have here two gentlemen who would have participated in the races here at the regatta. So tell us, give us your names and where you're from, and you know the boat, the name of the boat.
My name is Terry Serrett from Trinidad. We have the driver here who is Anthony Joseph. The boat is a 20-foot formula powered by a Yamaha outboard engine. You know, it was a nice experience racing in this regatta. Now, this is the first time for us up here in this regatta. It's a new experience and we're taking it however we get, you know.
Now, I wanted to ask you, what has your experience been like as well?
Well, my experience, I always had experience with boats, especially with speed and so on, so it wasn't nothing new to me.
All right, now you were explaining, you said, you know, as a team, you all have different roles in the boat. Explain that to us.
One person throttles the boat, which gives the boat the speed that the boat goes at, and the next person steers the boat. Right, so we have a driver and we have a throttleman. One steers the boat and one accelerates or decelerates anyway.
What did you all place in the races that you all participated in today?
So far we ran 2 circuits. In the first circuit we came in second, and in the last circuit there we came in first. Right, there's one more race again, I believe, for the day, which is a sprint from there down to this side of the jetty. So we just trying to just get the boat ready. Not much to do, the boat is well prepared. You know, we use the boat a lot. So, and that's the thing, if it is your one, if you fail to prepare, prepare to fail.
So I wanted to ask, how do you feel about the placing here today at the regatta?
Feel not too bad, just confident with the other races coming up.
Right. And how do you feel about, you know, what you would have placed?
Good, good. I mean, there's a lot of trial and error now. You have to pay any time to get the boat to work how it is you want it to work, you know. And the only way you do that is putting the boat into the water and running the boat. You know, a lot of guys believe that they would just fix it on the land and it will be good. No, you need to put it and put it to the test. You know, and that's something we do with our boat a lot. Every weekend we down the islands taking a little lime, but it's not also liming, it's also trying to see what will go wrong with the boat. Now, man-made stuff, things will go wrong, I understand, but once you prepare, I guess you'll be all right.
So we're here with one of the boat racers. Can you give us your name and tell us the name of the boat that you raced?
Well, my name is Roland Foa. I am the owner and the charterman powered by God 2.
And what was it like on the water today, Mr. Roland?
Well, the race was really enjoyable for me. The water was just right. A little chop, a little calm here and there, but it was perfect condition for racing.
And what did you place in the race? Tell us the event that you would have participated in and what you placed.
Well, the first race we did a 1 lap, came third, and the 2 lap I dropped out.
All right. So tell us, Roland, how are you enjoying the Roxborough Regatta festivities up on this side of the island?
Well, every year I look forward to coming Roxborough to race because it's one of the, I should say, more loving event on the island, right? And I just look forward for it every year and hoping to take part in it every year because I love racing.
I wanted to find out, you know, we're celebrating Republic Day today, you know, how do you feel as a country, as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, being able to, you know, reach, you know, 46 years as a republic?
Well, it's nice, right? At 46 years, republic, what I can say, it's just to enjoy it. Enjoy the best side.
So I'm here with Dr. Faith B. Israel, the Deputy Chief Secretary. Congratulations, as well as the Secretary for Health, Wellness and Social Protection. Dr. B. Israel, you know, how are you enjoying the day today?
It's been a wonderful day. It started with the parade, then we went over to the award ceremony that the minister held, and now we are here at the Roxborough Regatta. I'm having a good time today.
Can I ask you, you know, you've been to all these events today, all these various activities, you know, any of them your favorites?
Oh gosh, why would you ask me that? Why would you ask me?
You know how to ask.
But you know, this evening I look forward to the cultural show and I look forward to the fireworks and so forth this evening. But you know what, I really can't pick a favorite because I enjoyed every single one of them. They cater to a different crowd, they have, you know, different spectators and so forth, and this is exactly what we need for Roxborough.
Because I wanted to ask you that as well, the importance of bringing these kinds of national and patriotic celebrations to the east of the island.
Certainly. Well, those of us from the East usually feel that we are a little neglected. So I am always happy when we can bring activities to the East, because we're not just bringing the activities, we are actually bringing economic activity as well. And as you can see, we have vendors all over the place. We have people actually making money. We have people ensuring that they have a bread and butter, and that is what we need for the east of the island. Yes, I'm happy when the entire island develops.
And that's great to hear. Now, as a policymaker, can you tell us, what does being a republic mean to you? What does, us celebrating 46 years of being a republic mean to you?
Certainly. Well, being a republic means that we can do our own things. It means that we are man in our own house. We are in charge of our own destiny. And that, I think, is very important, because it means we can chart the way. We can decide for ourselves right here in Trinidad and Tobago where we go, what we do, and why we do it. I would actually go further, and that is why we are talking about, autonomy for Tobago and greater autonomy for Tobago, so that we can chart that same destiny for the island. So I am happy that we are here celebrating Republic Day. I'm happy that Trinidad and Tobago has gotten to this point, because there are many nations that are now doing it, even in the Caribbean. There are countries that are still now becoming a republic in the Caribbean. So it shows that we have a level of maturity that I really appreciate. And I am glad to be a part of the policy making so that we can advance those agendas.
And any Republic Day greetings, to the people of Tobago?
Certainly. I want to say to all of Tobago, I want to say to every single one of you, Happy Republic Day. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the holiday. Be safe out there. Be safe out there. And let me just take a plug in. My staff at the hospital in Roxborough, I just got a note that they have actually been doing a lot of work. So while everybody else is enjoying themselves, they are the ones picking up everybody who fainted, who fainted at the parade today. So I want to say to the Roxborough Health Facility, the staff members there, thank you all so much. To Thames, everyone, thank you all so much for the hard work that you all are putting in, while the rest of us are here enjoying ourselves. But to the Trinidad and Tobago, Happy Republic Day. Enjoy the day, be safe, and again, come out this afternoon for the cultural show, because I'm excited about the fireworks.
Right. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Faith B. Israel. So there we have it, our Deputy Chief Secretary and Secretary for Health, Wellness and Social Protection, enjoying herself up here in Roxborough and proudly representing, the people of the east of Tobago. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It is always a pleasure to be home. Roxborough is the village that birthed me, and therefore it's always exciting to see Republic Day bringing the entire Tobago converging on Roxborough and displaying our true sense of hospitality, our true sense of camaraderie, our true sense of uniqueness as a people of the community of Roxborough. And I am pleased thus far, looking this morning on the parade, there was a lot of new initiative in terms of us bringing horses for the first time. I'm very proud as the Assistant Commissioner responsible for the K9 unit to ensure that we got that in Tobago, in Roxborough for the first time. And of course, the powerboat race. Roxborough was known for powerboat racing. People like Mr. Carlton Lindo would have fought years in order to ensure that this sport stay alive in Roxborough. And therefore, I remember as a young boy what we used to call discovery. That was the day when we used to be this very spot. We had lots of sailboat race that we will come as young boys to look at Zeppelin and all these boats participate. And ensuring that it continue is really important. So I am happy to see that the sporting aspect of the boat race is alive and well, and even the descendant of Mr. Lindo is still involved in it and keeping it up and well. So I want to say congratulations to all who are responsible, and of course the police is here to ensure that safety and order is maintained. We are looking forward for a crime-free day in Roxborough, and Hats off to everyone.
What does being a republic mean for you?
Republic for me meant that we as a people is able to stand on our own. We are able to make our own decisions. We are able to raise our own identity with our flag. Our flag represents to us a meaning of a people coming together in one bond, in one unity, united and identity, that wherever we go, the red, white and black, we will feel proud of that and we will cherish that as our own.
How are you enjoying the celebrations up here in Roxborough today?
Well, I find it's perfect. The weather is perfect today. Like, taking into consideration the weather for the past 2 days, we have a beautiful day today and a great turnout.
All right, and that's great to hear. Is this your first time up on this side?
It is not, but in a long time, yes. I feel like if everybody was looking forward to everything coming back, like the anticipation was built up and now the turnout is like way different, yeah.
All right. Now, we're celebrating 46 years as a republic. How do you feel as a, a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago being able to celebrate 46 years as a republic?
One word, and that's proud.
Can you give us your name and where are you from?
Chris Ramswak, I'm from Trinidad, Port of Spain.
All right. And Mr. Ramswak, you're here up at the Republic Day Regatta in Roxborough. Tell us, why did you come up here?
Oh, well, what happened is we have one boat in the competition, and I have one boat here just for the boat show that was done yesterday.
How are you enjoying the celebrations in Roxborough?
Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful here. Really, really, people here make you feel at home. The races is really nice. It's even getting better and better, more professional. Every time we come, I see this happening, growing. It's really, really nice. The people here is very warm, comfortable. The atmosphere, everything is beautiful, and it's getting better and better, even more professional every time we come here.
How do you feel about coming second place in your class in the regatta here? What are your feelings about that? Because I know you are very energetic and like you're showing a lot of zeal with your partners over under the 10-day. How do you feel about participating and placing?
Well, I'll tell you something. The thing is not about winning. The thing is about being here and enjoying it and enjoying the race. Winning and winning a prize is just bragging rights. But being here and enjoying and being part of it with the warm, nice people here is amazing.
Tell us your name and where you're from.
All right, well, I'm Desiree Francis, originally Desiree Fraser from right here in Roxborough. I did come for the parade this morning, got here a little late, so I only got the bit from this area to the stadium. So yeah, it's been going great so far. I've not been back to Roxborough for this parade since I left here, probably about 30 years ago.
But you just said you got caught up with friends, so I guess it's a sense of socializing, meeting up with people you haven't seen in a long time. That's the essence of this kind of celebration.
Definitely. I mean, I've met so many people here today that I haven't seen in a long time. They haven't seen me in a long time, so it's a lot of chatting taking place. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
A Republic Day Awards ceremony held by the Central Administrative Services Tobago cast under the office of the Prime Minister was also a part of Tobago's celebrations. That too took place in this community. We head over to the Roxborough Secondary School to take in that event.
In our third year, we introduced the award ceremony as a way of bringing goodwill and good gesture to Tobago Peace and recognizing some of the men and women in our community who would have served in some way. And as I often tell people about, I'm a Trinidadian, but I'm a proud Tobago girl. I want us to ensure that in Tobago, ensure that our young people understand how important it is for us always hold a nation up with pride.
Festivities on the island aren't complete without a cultural show. Themed Forging a Brighter Horizon, a Republic Story. The performances included calypso renditions, a steel pan showdown, and exciting dance routines. Take a look.
I want to eat, so the girl she under pressure, but the doctor want to cook her, push it in pressure, cooker. He pick up the people and gun, start to dance and the beat the drum. The girl know I go down, she whine to the beat of the drum.
Good day to all sundry, family, friends, and politicians, and everybody out there. We, the people of Roxborough and the police troopers, petrifiers, are happy to have you here. Republic Day is always a special occasion for the business community and all our way, because we get our own parade and we fireworks and we get to celebrate with everybody. So eat, don't drink too much, be merry and have a ball. As we say to you, happy 46th Republic Day to one and all. Beat your drum, Mr. Drummer.
Politicians, we like to criticize, we love to make excuse, we seem to enjoy casting blame and helping abuse. But when the government come, the government go. It's one thing I really want you to know: we the people are the heart and soul of this land, and this we have to solve this situation. The bottom line is that we, you and me, not to someone all of it and try to and dare save this land that we love. Cause problems will come and problems will go. Experts will say how to get them solved. It's we have to fight to save this land that we love. We're gonna just move it as one. I bless our rich tradition. Old time waiting. Come on, let we sing. Play the way I sing Tobago. There we go. I said Tobago, Tobago. There we go. I said Tobago, Tobago. This is our lovely rainforest. There we go. Tobago, Tobago. There we go. And the master cockrico. There we go. And we burn. Come on, let me go. And now we go, let we go.
Since the day Stink and dirty. I was born in a village. I learned my upbringing, where all was forgiven. So I'm in tune with my spirit. I was born as a warrior. My father was a stick fighter. So why is that no pushover? Now we're fighting back. They come out of bus med. They blows the belting like they want to bust med. No matter what they do, me I do pound for them. They know like they want to come from it, so tell them come from it, from it.
Girl, me say come back, come on and do.
Tomorrow is me wedding day.
Girl, me say come back, come on and do.
Tomorrow is me wedding day.
Girl, me say come back, come on and do.
Tomorrow is me wedding day.
Girl, me say come back, come on and do.
Tomorrow is me wedding day.
Girl, me say come back, come on and do.
So then I look at this is something new, so yeah. I follow its words, something is for me, because but you don't inside the station, you could hear a song and I'll be recording. Get the voices calling, this is the land, the land of island music, we make it better. I tell you, you can't refuse it, if we make still drum, when they always start to beat it, if you know.
Monday and Tuesday, I wind and loosely, tripping down the road, and we're breaking our way. What? I can't stay home no day, and missing there's no way. On top of cloud nine, let's make it, guys. Making it. If it's you, we got you know. Night and day we fetching on. Well, come by me. We gonna bend over, come on. Cause we can't even sweet like Tobago. They come just making me cocoa. The girl never hot like flambo, one bad like rambo. Pull it up.
I think I could not go alone. No other place, eh?
Come, let me go down the road.
So much me, just watch me now. So much me, just watch me now.
I beg your fly, train, beg or fly. Cut all the strings, free your wings, and just like the dove, come let me rise above. I said fly, train, beg or fly. We crash and we fall in spite of it all. Just exude your love. Come let me rise above.
Thanks for staying with us as we brought you the Republic Day festivities which took place in the eastern community of Roxborough. As usual, you can email us with your comments or queries about the program. Visit our website, like our Office of the Chief Secretary Facebook page, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. From our house to yours, I'm Amadara Mills, wishing you a safe and productive week. Now, in case you missed it, here's a look back at the fireworks display which concluded the 2022 Republic Day celebrations.
Morning viewers, it is 7 a.m. and this morning I want to welcome you to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. As we continue to give God thanks for life, I am Julian Skeet.
And I am Maria Richardson George, and this is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Good morning to Tobago, good morning Trinidad, those of you in the Caribbean, and those of you viewing us on the live, good morning, good morning. Julian Skeet.
Yes,
it's Monday morning. How are you today?
It's Monday. How was your long weekend, Ria?
It was.
And after adding long because of the addition of Friday.
Yeah, I couldn't make it on Friday, but you know, Saturday, Sunday, good days. Yesterday evening, I was in the company of some really great folks up there in Speyside Pentecostal Church, and I met up with our girl, our loyal viewer, Carol Davidson Fraser. Yes, we had a wonderful time. Soul Impact had their worship experience last evening, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful. I have to say congratulations to Pastor Smart. I did not know Pastor Smart could sing. Pastor Smart, we are still left in awe. Beautiful, wonderful rendition. And to all the folks who were there last night, you know, a really wonderful evening. I'm glad that I was there.
Sounds like you had a late night, Ria. With only a few hours.
I did. I did. You know, the least amount of information that you can have, Julian, the better for all of us.
Good morning, Oswald George. Shout out to Oswald George and the entire family out there. Really, it was indeed quite a good weekend for me as well. A lot of it spent in terms of family time, and you know, getting things done. And I had the opportunity on Saturday. I would have also been invited by the Association for Female Executives of Trinidad and Tobago. They hosted their Tobago launch, and I'm really hoping that we'll be able to feature some of those photos coming up a little later on in the week. But really a good addition in the Tobago space and coming together. And you know, it was quite interesting being in the mix, as one of the executive members said. It's a good thing to have a few men in the mix of so many ladies in terms of the blend, but really getting a bit of insight into the work that they're doing, and I'm hoping that we'd be able to have them on as well.
And if I'm not mistaken, sorry, go ahead.
Within a short space of time.
Correct me if I'm wrong, one of our friends was also recognized there.
Yes, we are in fact several, but I'm going to wait till I get the photos. I'm going to wait till I get the photos so that we can highlight a few of our colleagues in terms of being recognized, award-winning, and also being pinned at the Association of Female Executives Trinidad and Tobago, the Tobago launch.
All right, and Julian, I'm going to give you all the story after we hear the news from Candace. We're going to give you the story about what, you know, the color in my hair. Quite an interesting story, but we'll talk about it later on.
All right, so we head on over to news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Julian and Ria. I am Candace Jackson, and here is your news in 90 seconds for Monday, 10th October 2022. Rainy weather conditions undermined several roads in Tobago over the weekend. On Saturday, 2 landslides occurred at Bad Rock in Kendall along Windward Road, preventing the free flow of traffic. Upon inspection, the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development determined that the area was unstable. The landslides also undermined a nearby home. The division announced the road is closed to regular vehicular traffic except for buses and large vehicles until it is safe. Meanwhile, another landslide occurred along Idlewild Road, threatening a more significant portion of the roadway. Motorists were advised to use alternative routes to get to their destination until further notice. Damages caused by last week's extreme weather conditions are not yet estimated, but it will impact infrastructural plans for the THA. These changes were expected to be addressed at this morning's Mandate Monday press conference. However, it was postponed. Chief Secretary Farley Augustine conceptualized Mandate Monday to update the public every 3 months on commitments made to Tobago. Meanwhile, Tobago West MP Shafa Kajo gave wrong information in Parliament last week about increasing airplanes for Caribbean Airlines. During her contribution to the budget debate last week, Kajo stated that the government was ready to purchase 9 new ATR planes for CAL. The international press picked up on the story, but Tobago West MP admitted that she got the information wrong. Instead, the government is attempting to purchase 2 new ATR planes, bringing the total fleet of ATR planes to 9. And that was the news in 90 seconds. It is back to you, Ria and Julian.
Okay, there, thank you, Candace.
Indeed, thank you so much, Candace, bringing the news there to us in 90 seconds. And really, the combination is quite interesting. You know, as I heard Candace speak in relation to, I recall that over the course of the weekend, I think we also saw what appears to be an apology coming from MP, I think it is Keith Scotland, indicating regarding the impact of his words. And, you know, if nothing else, it should give a clear indication and a reminder to those who hold political office of that responsibility. Meanwhile, on the flip side, we have MP Shamfa Kajo standing by her words. Very interesting enough, notwithstanding the serious and severe negative press coming forward in relation to the situation like that. And yes, we're still reflecting on the impact and what is definitely the hardship coming out of budget 2023. All right. And this morning I got to make that connection in terms of the color combination this morning. This green this morning is reflective of, you know, just as the viewer said, Bruno Simon Frederick, indicating the green being reflective of mental health, you know, making that a color connection. And we'll be chatting with some folks coming up in relation to issues of that nature as we speak to World Mental Health Day a little later on in the program this morning. But this morning's combination, you know, this morning's outfit and wardrobe is courtesy Checkpoint, and that's Checkpoint located at Upper Main Street in Scarborough. Remember to check Checkpoint or connect with them via phone at 639-5148.
All right, and my hints of pink.
Yes.
This morning, I would like to say, remember, it's October. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and later on in the month, we're going to be highlighting, you know, giving some information on breast cancer awareness and stuff. As well, you know, I want to say here, my hair this morning is good to see Hair Sanctuary.
Tell me about this pink streak.
Well, you know, it should have been, I was hoping for popping pink. So I decided, Julian, to head on down to Hair Sanctuary over the weekend, on Friday afternoon, to get some products to try dyeing my hair myself. You know, YouTube is out there for everyone, so I decided to YouTube hair dyeing pink. Susan Jack, this is the result. I was hoping for hot pink, but I was a little bit afraid of keeping the dye in a little too long and damaging the hair. But I will try again in about 2 weeks' time, give it some rest and go again. But I'm really loving this color here. You know, it's not too bad. Not too bad.
Not too bad. Indeed. No, but quite nice.
Thank you.
Something
very different for me.
From your Richardson George.
Yeah. But I'll be showing up with the hot pink soon.
Duly noted, Ria. Let's head straight on into our birthday celebrations. We got a long lineup this morning, Ria. A long lineup of birthdays coming from over the weekend into today.
All right, Julian, this is my big daughter. This is Hannah Laborde Paulson, married name Paulson. Hannah celebrated her birthday yesterday. Hannah, love going out to you from your Tobago daddy, your Tobago mommy, and the rest of the family. And we've got Lendell Gray celebrating his birthday. Lendell, happy birthday going out to you from the Tobago
husband
family.
Of Avanel Benoit Gray.
Right,
yes,
right.
Happy birthday going out to you.
Dr. Benoit Gray.
Yes, and their birthday shout out going out to Skeeter Frederick. Skeeter Frederick out there in Roxborough, wishing you a happy, happy birthday, coming from the entire family. My very good friend on screen here this morning, Candice Joan Simmons, wishing you a happy, happy birthday, Candice, and God's continued blessings. We trust that you have an enjoyable celebration. Well, this is my cousin Rhea. She started the celebrations into the weekend, Celine Skeet. So we're wishing you a happy, happy birthday, Celine Skeet, coming from the entire family.
And we've got Shawnee Thompson celebrating her birthday. Shawnee, love going out to you this morning from the Tobago Updates family.
Happy birthday, Shawnee, doing exceptional things in the TTPS.
That's right.
All right. And wishing a happy birthday going out to my friend Kersha.
Julian's Green in support.
The Green today in support. Courtesy Checkpoint located at Upper Main Street in Scarborough. And we continue the discussions this morning as we speak to Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month. And we'll be chatting with Makeda Gray. And she's the founder of the Zafiri Foundation. So we look forward to those discussions this morning.
And then we're going to close things up this morning, or wrap things up with the Darlington Chants. And it's all about Blue Food Festival. Blue Food Festival is back, and all roads lead to the north side, I believe it is, this weekend. So we're going to get some more information on that.
Yes, it's that kind of weekend here in the Tobago space. And we're also heading on to the live, and we want to send happy birthday. And this is coming from Pearl Duke Orr. Happy birthday to my dad, Mayhew Waldron. Much love, big man. And this birthday greeting is coming out from Pearl Duke Orr. All right, we want to thank each and every one of you, all our viewers, for continuing to connect with us. And more importantly, for continuing to choose the Tobago Updates morning show each and every day. All right, as we see those of you joining us on the live, I see my very good friend Katie in the mix this morning, Listra Belfon. Hey, my family are online as well, Denise Phillips. We have Afisha McCain. Yes, Afisha, I'm awaiting those photos so that we can have that interview to have further discussions on the excellent work done over the course of this weekend with the AFET, the Association of Female Executives of Trinidad and Tobago. Dawn Dempster, Keith Pollard, Carol Fraser Davidson is on the live with us.
Carol is up and early,
QK Melville.
And
Leah, this is certainly a familiar name. Natalie Seeley Richardson is on the live with us this morning. I know she's probably in between getting those boys ready for school.
That's right. That's
Morning shout outs to you, Natalie Seeley Richardson, joining us on the live as well this morning. And we also want to take a little time out.
Yes.
In the mix over the within the last 2 days or so, we'd have experienced the loss in the Tobago space on Friday, and therefore we also want to join with our viewers in extending condolences to Dr. Cindy Duke and Winston Duke on the passing of their mom, Cora Pantin. Many would have known her more fondly as Mama Coco.
Mama Coco, yeah.
Right? So we certainly want to extend our condolences coming here from the entire Tobago Updates family.
Yeah, definitely. And I tell you, Mama Coco has done a lot for the people in Tobago. She has given back. She made a lot of sacrifices to get to where she is, where she was. And she made the sacrifices for her children. But also, she never forgot where she came from. Never forgot where she came from. In fact, just November, December 2021, there was a drive throughout the island of Tobago where she was just giving back. It was food galore. I don't know if you can recall that. It was food galore.
I recall the vehicle passing in my area. Yes,
I benefited from it. I got a call, Rhea, you're home? Come outside, girl. And what happened? And we had lunch. So thank you again. And for the sacrifices made, we appreciate.
Yes, it's indeed a loss. We send someone who has continued, would have made a significant contribution, and we do send out our condolences to the entire family treating with the loss at this time.
Definitely.
All right, Rhea, at this point, we prepare to head on out, and we want to thank each and every one of you, those connecting with us via Gael, those connecting via Emily TV. Yes, all of you watching us via TV, we're giving you your shout out this morning as well. The listeners on Smash Radio, and also our listeners via Street 91.9 FM. And to each and every one of you connecting with us online, this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your life can't get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. If sickness catch you off guard. I tell them never ever worry. If times fall on you real hard. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Mamai Lakai Home Services. We specialize in cleaning of carpets and rugs, mattresses, living room and dining room sets, vehicle detailing, cleaning and sanitizing of homes and commercial spaces. We also do landscaping and tree cutting, pressure and power washing, floor care, fumigating and air purifying. You can also call us for professional painting services, babysitting and adult sitting. Call us now 333-4430 at Mamai Lakai Home Services. We take cleaning to another level.
Excel Spa by Haley, where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Switzerland, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. Excel Spa by Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorn's Place, with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorn's Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers. It is 7:21 a.m. and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. In this segment, viewers, we are chatting in relation to World Mental Health Day 2022, and we are chatting with Dr. Alina Williams, clinical psychologist, and Janelle McConey-Critchlow, psychiatric social worker. Morning to you, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All
Thank you
right.
for having us.
Yes, and an excellent opportunity as we start the discussions. We want immediately for you to put in context, Dr. Williams, World Mental Health Day. What's the significance of this celebration the world over?
Okay, so the World Health Organization, in collaboration with the World Federation for Mental Health, usually celebrates World Mental Health Day on the 10th of October every year. And the aim of this day is to raise awareness and educate the public on mental illnesses, as well as to help reduce stigmatization, which continues to be a barrier to access to mental health services.
All right. So it kind of puts it into context for us, and I see we have on screen. Tell us a little bit about this logo.
So basically, and actually this logo ties in very well with our theme this year, because the theme is Make Mental Health and Well-Being for All a Global Priority. And this theme is apt for the occasion because we've witnessed a significant incline in mental health related disorders globally. But also the theme highlights that many countries are still ill-equipped to meet the high demands of accessible mental health services.
You know, just before we would have head off in terms of in between the break, Ria would have been raising such a valid point that I'd like you to address when we speak to the issue of persons very broadly having that kind of feeling. If I have to see a professional, if I'm going to see Dr. Alina and it's not my friend, that one they're going mad, that one they're going crazy. How do you respond to persons that still have that kind of mindset and thinking in 2022?
Well, one of our main logos is that there's no health without mental health. And just as anywhere in your body could go bad, so to speak, your brain can also experience trauma. We experience harsh living conditions. In fact, there has been a rise in cases of depression, anxiety, self-harm, substance use, suicide attempts, and completed suicide. Because when you look around, not only are we coming out of a COVID pandemic, but we're also facing high crime and violence rates, displacement, harsh economic conditions, fighting and bullying in school, and so many other stress and trauma related disorders. So it's not about going crazy, it's not about going mad, it's that people are facing very difficult situations and we are losing access to tangible and intangible resources to cope with them.
All right. Janelle, I know we're accustomed having you on in other capacities, but this morning we're talking in relation to World Mental Health Day. And tell us a little bit about how will this be recognized in the Tobago space?
Okay, so for World Mental Health Day, we came up with a week of activities, right? We started off the week with us giving appreciation to God. So we went to a church service yesterday. Today, while we are on set, just to spread the word with Tobago, what we have planned for them for the entire week. So moving from here, throughout the day, do it in the outpatient clinic, the mental health nurses would be, giving informative sessions on mental health topics, right? And later on today, we have our online informative session where we are doing a round robin setting. So, normally when you have like events, they would just give you a topic, but we felt it necessary, given that we are coming out of a pandemic, persons might want to hear about depression and not necessarily anxiety. So we give them that platform where they can log in to get the necessary information they need to access the help that they might need based on what would come out of this session. Moving from that, the CAC department, where I work with Child and Adolescent Center, we will be going into the schools on Tuesday and Thursday just to target the Standard 5 student and the first Standard 5 students of the primary school. Now, we know that they are preparing for a high-paced exam, which is the C examination. And we know that they might be, fearful of these exams and so forth. So we are going to give them a coping toolbox to help them to alleviate some of those stresses and to better able to cope with these stresses of the exam and so on and so forth. Right? On Thursday, we have an informative session as well, which is geared towards managers and persons within the government settings where, at work sometimes they are faced with a lot of issues that might bring on these mental health challenges. So we want to target managers and show them how they can help to maintain the mental health of their workers, which would have a triple effect, because once they are stable to work, they would get productivity, right? So that is some of the activities we have planned. We know that our team would be on set later on the hour to give more information surrounding mental health and what we have planned for the week.
Tell us something.
Could I just add to Julian?
No problem.
On Tuesday, we also want to have a session for the TRHA workers, because healthcare workers have been working throughout the pandemic and of course have been experiencing burnout as a result. So we do have a session for them. And on Wednesday, we usually have what we call Stressless Day, This is where staff and our clients go to Pigeon Point and spend a day of games and activities. It's a setting where there's no differentiation between staff and patients. We're all one, we all enjoy ourselves, and it's a chance for our clients to see us as human. So that's one of the big days that we look forward to.
Excellent. One of the things that you just touched on, Janelle, that I'd like to get some more info is specifically that connection in relation to students. How important do you believe that is in terms of really seeking to change what is attitudes and behaviors, as we were just alluding to, towards the issue of mental health?
Well, you know, based in the setting that I'm working, which is with the Child and Adolescent Center, we are seeing a lot of the fallout from the pandemic. So we are seeing that children are coming with a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, and it's related to so much different social situations, sometimes psychological factors, biological factors. But the point is that we have that fallout. And COVID is to blame because COVID took away their ability to socialize, right? To build that interaction with one another. So I think that going into the school, it will allow them to understand that, hey, you are not going through this alone, you have this support. And we have to remember that mental health is fundamental to our overall health and well-being. So equipping them with the necessary tools and skills to function throughout the school time, and you know that they could take that outside of school and function in other social settings would really help them to maximize their well-being.
Would you say, Dr. Lena Williams, coming out of the pandemic in particular, that as a people we have become a lot more conscious about our mental health?
Definitely. The pandemic has changed so much for people. I think that some of the tools used to treat or help to minimize the COVID actually worsen mental health. So for example, like having to isolate ourselves, having to work from home, lacking structure that we were accustomed to, and those things led to a significant incline in mental health issues. And so one of the good things about this year's themes is that it's a call for us to consider how we are investing in mental health. From a governmental perspective, what are the plans and policies they have in place? From an employer perspective, how are you creating good work-life balance for your employees? Do you have access to EAP programs? How are you handling workplace conflict? We also want to look at mental health professionals. Are there adequate mental health professionals to meet the needs of the island? We know that the public sector tends to be staffed insufficiently. And so to deliver quality mental health care, we really need everybody on board with us, not just the mental health professionals, but government agencies, advocates, employers, religious organizations, other stakeholders to join with us as we deal with this new emerging crisis.
You know, just a few years ago, I had a supervisor that placed heavy emphasis, and a background similarly in terms of social work and so on self-care.
Yes.
And you know, it was something that you did ever so often, but you didn't recognize the significance of it. Tell us, particularly for workers in this sector, I feel like, and you know, we had this conversation a few years ago, Alina, you all deal with so much.
Yes.
How do you treat with it in such a manner that it doesn't bring you know, a challenge even in your own family spaces, your spouse, your children, you know, your parents, colleagues, and so on? How do you make that detachment as workers within this field?
So there are two things. On one hand, it is necessary to detach, as you said, so that we're able to function and meet our clients at our maximum capacity. And so one of the things we do, for example, is consultation with colleagues. Consultation or supervision is very important for us to de-stress. We also and try to engage in what we preach. So we take care of ourselves. We know the tools that are necessary for us to sort of stabilize our mental health. But also to detachment completely isn't always well. And I've found, for me personally, being able to go through difficult times allows me to be more empathetic with my clients. So I remember my postpartum journey and how difficult it was. And that has allowed me to be so much more empathetic and compassionate with my postpartum patients. And so there's a process where you have to find the balance between making sure that you, us as mental health professionals, are mentally healthy, but also we want to be able to empathize and meet people where they are. And sometimes that calls for us being, having the same shoes, basically, wearing the same shoes as they are.
All right. Janan, I want you to tell me a little bit about a little bit more in relation to the online session. What format is it going to take? Is there going to be a panel that's going to be? Is it going to be persons will have an opportunity for one-on-one access in breakout rooms? What format will the online engagement take?
So what we're doing is that we go into the Zoom platform. We know initially we had said we are going on Google Meet, so let me put it out there. When you are logged into the Google Meet today, we would give you the link so that they could veer off into the Zoom platform, right? And what we will do, we have several breakout rooms. So in each breakout room, there will be a mental health professional to facilitate that session, to give information, whether it be anxiety, so it's anxiety, depression, emotional regulation, self-harm, and substance abuse, right? And each session would be presented twice. So if you wanted to hear about depression, but you were in the self-harm room, we do it for 30 minutes, then you change, then you go into the self-harm room, then the depression room, then we all come back to the main room where we facilitate questions and answers.
All right, excellent. And what time would that be taking place from?
From 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m.
All right, and remind persons for me, where can they find all this information that we would have given this morning in terms of the week of activities and so on?
Okay, so they could visit the TRHA page for all the information. Also, I know Dr. William would have posted on her personal platform, social media platforms.
And you know she's a social media influencer.
She's a social media influencer, so they could veer off over there to get the information. They could also reach out to us, right, at the mental health office at TRHA or the Child and Adolescent Center. We are here for the week. We are here to ensure that their mental health is a priority.
As persons in the field, how do you treat with the connection, or what I would say is the demands or the pressures of social media, in particular for persons who may be going through challenging situations, or as I like to say, almost feeling as though you have to live up to a particular expectation? Because you know we live in a world now where one picture of a perfect lifestyle is painted on social media, and then when you start to engage with persons one-on-one, you realize, oh my God, you are going through so much. How do you treat in this day and age with that kind of additional demand being placed on persons where you feel like, I can't break down, I can't be real?
So one of the good things I've noticed on social media is that more and more people are being real. Of course, there are still pages, influencers, people that portray curated images of the best moments of their lives. But I think that more and more we are educating people that what you see on social media is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of what goes on in that person's life. And some people choose to post their best. Some people, on the other hand, choose to post their worst, and then there are those in between. I think that we have been trying our best to get people to recognize that social media is just one aspect to life and not become absorbed in it. We know that social media use is linked to anxiety and depression, but also to body image issue and a disorder that is called body dysmorphia. And so even at a young age, it's about parents talking to their children about social media, about being mindful of what they're exposed to. Even ourselves, we need to follow or unfollow pages that affect us mentally. And we need to always keep in mind that if something is not edifying us, it is okay to disconnect. Disconnection is important.
And very quickly, as we talk about social media, would you say, and I know some persons have raised the challenge, that would you class it as a mental health challenge or disorder for persons who, operate in one manner within their day-to-day lives and then operate behind what we have widely branded now as fake profiles, or seeking to another identity to be able to speak out? Some people have classed and tried to associate that, is it really associated with any kind of mental health disorder?
I would say first to decide that we have to know the reason why there's this need for a fake profile or why people operate the way that they do. It's difficult to just class something as a mental illness or mental disorder without fully understanding and analyzing it. So for example, if the fake profile is because they fear some kind of consequence to what they have to say. If that consequence is legitimate, it's not a mental disorder. But if it's that people just have no sense of self, they are experiencing shifts in their personality, for example, then perhaps, but it's difficult to say.
Excellent. And just before we wrap this morning, again, a reminder to persons where they can get the information. Janelle, if you can remind us very quickly about your lineup of activities that will be taking place, as well as Dr. Alina, in terms of contact information, and so that persons can reach out. If coming out to this interview, they want to reach out to persons to get further details, as well as probably to raise concerns, not knowing the avenues that would be available.
Okay, so today we have our online informative session, right? We are still taking registration, so you could go onto the TRHA Facebook page. You could reach out on Dr. Alina's page for the link to register for that. On Tuesday, we have the session for the TRHA staff, right? And on Wednesday, we have the stressless day, which is for the patients. Also on Tuesday, going back, we go out into the schools, right? So on Tuesday, which is tomorrow, we are at the Roxborough Anglican Primary School and the Bell Garden Primary School. On Thursday, we are at the Scarborough Methodist School and the Bonaccord Primary School. On Thursday also, we have that session for the managers of the different government organizations, And on Friday, we have anything on Friday? No, we don't have anything on Friday.
Well, every day we have community outpatient outreach programs. So every day at the outpatient clinics, we have staff mostly led by the nurses, registered mental health nurses, that would lead different education sessions. So for example, this morning is antenatal clinic. A group of us will be there talking about perinatal mental health and other different things.
Quick question coming in, I believe is very relevant. A twofold scenario. If I believe that I am going through some kinds of mental health challenges, what are the avenues available to me through the TRHA? And similarly, if I believe there's someone I'm connected with that might be going through something, but not facing it directly, what are the avenues to be able to help them directly? So I don't know if you all could just address that very quickly before we wrap.
Okay, if you believe that you're going through something, our department is accessible. You can walk in at the Scarborough General Hospital Mental Health Unit, or even the Scarborough Health Center Mental Health Unit. We do take walk-ins, and the Child and Adolescent Center as well take walk-ins. So you could walk in, you'll get to see someone there immediately, and then be referred to the consultant psychiatrist for a full assessment, following which you may see a psychologist, a social worker, or a mental health officer. If you believe someone needs mental health services, this one is a bit tricky. If the person agrees with you that they do need mental health services, then again, you could accompany them to our department, whether at the hospital or the health center, and they can seek services there. However, if you believe someone needs mental health services, but they don't agree, and that person is of legal age, then it's tricky because they have the option to come or not. The only way that that could be, let's say, nullified is if this person becomes disruptive to society. Then other agencies would step in, for example, the court or the police, and they can mandate that this person gets treatment.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much again as we speak to World Mental Health Day. Thank you for being on set with us, coming from the Tobago Regional Health Authority, Dr. Alina Williams, clinical psychologist, and Janelle McConey-Critchlow, a psychiatric social worker. All right, folks, we want to remind you this is the time period, and we are now in the day and age where you are required to take on some level of responsibility. There is the support there provided. Just feel free to reach out and to connect with these individuals that are there to provide that relevant support for us, especially during these times as we speak to World Mental Health Day and making persons more aware and informed. All right, viewers, we want to continue to thank you for choosing the Tobago Updates morning show. And at this point, we remind you that this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported. Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes for breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti served with chokers, bull joil and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning.
Good morning. Viewers, welcome back this morning to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. You know, as we focused a little while, Julian, with the guests, talking about Mental Health Awareness Month, we are talking this morning about Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month as well. And here to chat with us is the founder of Zafiri Foundation, Makeda Gray. Makeda, good morning and welcome to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Always good to have you on the program. And I noticed this morning that you are in your pink, but I also noticed that there are hints of blue in your hair.
Yes.
Give our viewers this morning the rationale, the reason for your pink and blue.
Good morning, viewers, and good morning to Tobago and by extension the world. Thank you very much for having me this morning. It's very insightful that you asked about my pink and my blue hair. And there's a little story behind that. Baby Loss Awareness Month is something that happens globally every year. October is recognized as Baby Loss Awareness Month, also known as Pregnancy and Infancy Loss Awareness Month. And I experienced that in 2015. And as a reminder and in honor of my daughter, her name is Sapphire, and Sapphire, as you all know, Sapphire is blue, and that is also the birthstone for the month of September. So every September into October, I wear the color pink and blue in honor of Baby Loss Awareness Month. The symbol for Baby Loss Awareness Month is a ribbon. Half is blue and half is pink to represent each sex, male and female. So hence the reason why you will see my stripes are blue, and my pink jacket also have stripes of blue in it as well.
Yeah, and I have to say, you know, it's never an easy process, an easy experience. But tell us this morning, when we talk about infant loss, so we talk about, but also infant loss and pregnancy loss, give us I feel as though there is a scope of scenarios that would fall under this umbrella. What are some of those scenarios?
Yes, what tends to happen with infancy or baby loss. It's a series of different types of scenarios that will play. When it is a woman becomes pregnant or when she conceives, pregnancy loss, also known as infancy loss, also known as miscarriage, could happen within 1 week, 1 day, or sometimes 39 weeks or 40 weeks. And during this time, there are different types of experience that the mother will go through. You could have an ectopic pregnancy. That is basically the baby forming in the tube. And as most cases, when it is you have an ectopic pregnancy, you don't come full term. That's a threatened miscarriage. That's a threatened pregnancy, so they will terminate the pregnancy. Or you could develop a series of different diseases that could affect your pregnancy, which is preeclampsia, also known as high blood pressure in pregnancy, or gestational diabetes. So as a woman, while it is you are pregnant, there's a series of different things that you as a woman have to make sure that your well-being is able enough to sustain this pregnancy to full term. In my case, I would have experienced threatened miscarriage and also preeclampsia during pregnancy, which resulted in the loss of my baby in 2015.
All right. And was that your first pregnancy?
No, it wasn't my first.
I'm glad, because I'm not glad that it wasn't
I
the first,
understand.
but I'm glad that you're sharing this. How many pregnancies did you experience before? And we'll get to the joy of the story in a little bit. But how many pregnancies did you go through or did you lose before you were able to go full term with the bundle of joy that we'll get to in a while?
Yes. Well, at a tender age, well, not at a tender age, I experienced my menstrual cycle at a very tender age. And so growing up, I always know that any number could play at any time. So when I was about 21, I was diagnosed with something called polycystic ovaries. Polycystic ovaries is where a series of cysts develop in your womb, and which is
polycystic ovaries?
Polycystic ovaries, which is something that threatens pregnancy as well. So at 21, being diagnosed with that, I always was very concerned in terms of when I wanted to become a mother, how my pregnancy journey will be.
Right.
So my first pregnancy, what happened is that I experienced a ruptured cyst, and because of the ruptured cyst, I lost the baby at 8 weeks. And also because of some mental challenges I was going through, I lost the baby at 8 weeks. So that was my first pregnancy. And my second pregnancy was the one that I lost at 39 weeks because I developed something called preeclampsia at 32 weeks. So during pregnancy for me, and most persons, if it is you aren't on strict medication or if it is you aren't on strict doctor's guidelines, once it is you develop any of these complications, you can unfortunately lose the baby.
All right, now I wanna talk to you about something here. I wanna talk about, the process or the procedure. Is our healthcare equipped at this point in time to treat with women, mothers who miscarry along the pregnancy? And why I ask this is we've got a hospital set up, yes. And I can speak about the previous hospital, yes. Because that's where I had my 3 children. I know things are a little bit different now in terms of the number of persons to a room or ward, but back then it was 10, 12 of us sometimes in one space, and you see women go in, come out, have their baby. What about those women who miscarry or lose their babies upon delivery and have to remain in that setting? Is our healthcare equipped to deal with mothers who miscarry?
I'm going to give you a flashback and then we come forward, because when I experienced my loss in 2015 at the Mount Hope General Hospital, the time that I spent there, it was very satisfactory. I didn't have any complaints. They treat me very well. They know my case. They treat the case very well. But when I had the miscarriage, after I delivered my baby at 7:43, they took me back to the same ward that all the mothers were and all the newborn babies were, and I was literally terrified. I told them, I said, I cannot stay on this ward because based on the experience, the trauma that I was going through, just to hear this baby crying, it triggered something in my mind that it wasn't mentally settling. And as we are also here this morning to talk about mental health,
yeah.
it marries the two together. Because that was 7 years ago. Fast forward to 2022, and the harsh reality is that this still happens in the healthcare system. The most they will do is place the mother in a far away room from the babies. But there isn't any designated area, because the reality is that no one really wants this to happen. It's an unfortunate situation, but it's something that happens very often. 1 in 4 pregnancies end in a loss. And I'm not sure, but hopefully with the Zafiri Foundation and the research and development that we want to partake in come 2023, we will be able to work with the healthcare system so that they could provide an alternate option instead of having the mother to go back on the ward. But as of now, based on my understanding and my information, there's no designated area for mothers who would have experienced a trauma. They go back to the ward.
You need to advocate.
And that is part of the reason why the Free Foundation exists, because we want to advocate for better health care, not for only mothers who would have lost, but mothers who are young, coming up and would like to experience a live birth. You as a woman, there are certain things that you have to put your body. If it is you are going to experience a pregnancy, the doctor would advise you 3 to 6 months before you even try to conceive, get your body physically and mentally ready to carry a pregnancy.
All right. I want to ask you as well, you would have experienced loss, yes. But looking back, you made mention a little while ago of the fact that it's been 7 years since you lost that baby, Sapphire.
Yes.
7 years later, when you think about Sapphire, do you still feel a sense of loss? And I know that there is a baby. There is now a baby.
Yes.
And you know, in the Caribbean sometimes, or with persons in general, we can sometimes be very insensitive, and we say, well, at least you have one now, almost as though the one now can make up or compensates for the one that you lost, or the ones that you lost. How do you feel now when you think of, I have a baby, yes, I was able to have a baby, she's healthy, full term, healthy, alive. When you think back 7 years ago, do you still feel that sense of loss? Is it still painful?
Honestly, it's not painful, but it resonates as surreal reality in the sense that there are certain milestones as a mother you look forward to. So now experiencing motherhood in its full glory, I sometimes, seldomly, miss having to experience those milestones. So we all know we were in a pandemic mode and our children were home for a long time. So for my son, first day of physical school, that sort of cemented a kind of sad feeling, but a joy, knowing that even though she's not here physically, I still have the opportunity to experience what motherhood is. So it's a bittersweet, but I don't really feel a sense of sadness. I feel a sense of joy, because me having to experience what I experienced has birthed something that has helped so many women and families since 2018 to now.
All right, and I mean, I'm glad that you're able to talk about it. Yes. And you know, there's a saying that when you can talk about an experience without crying, it means that you've reached your
baby steps.
Baby steps, but you're overcoming. You're overcoming.
One step at a time.
All right, you're overcoming. So we spoke about ectopic pregnancies, miscarriages, pregnancies, and infant loss. All right, so that is where you carry the baby full term, and maybe somewhere along the first 2 or 3 years of life, the baby.
Well, what tends to happen, if it is you experience a loss before or during pregnancy or before a year, that is considered infancy loss.
Right.
But there's something called SIDS, where it's sudden infancy death, where the child is a year, between a year to 5, and just get up one morning and die.
And dies. And where does rainbow babies, would rainbow babies, tell us about rainbow babies.
So rainbow babies are a sign of hope and resilience for parents, to know that at the end of the day, there's always hope. No, I have a rainbow baby. And the rainbow baby is something like a covenant in regards to a biblical realm where Noah built the ark. And after Noah built the ark, the Lord said he would never cover the earth with water again. So every time you see a rainbow, you know that's a hope.
It's a promise.
It's a promise. So when it is you experience a loss and you experience a birth, your baby after the loss is considered a rainbow baby.
All right. So you've got your rainbow baby.
Yes, I have a rainbow baby. He's 4 going on 40.
I know that age.
Yes.
All right, so tell us, what is the foundation doing to commemorate or remember mothers and those babies that were lost?
Right, so this year International Team for Baby Loss Awareness Month is Stepping Stones. And this international team is basically to let parents who have experienced loss know that they're not alone. And what the dialogue this year is about is parents who would have experienced loss discussing what they would have done, how they would cope, what different initiatives and activities that they would have engaged in after their loss. Because as you mentioned, only when it is you are able to talk about something without feeling a sense of sadness, that's when if you realize that you're actually getting better one step at a time. So the international team this year, as I mentioned, is Stepping Stones, and we as the Fury Foundation have a hub of activities, as we always do. This is our 3rd year in recognizing this event, and one thing that we are so elated to be a part of this event is because this event is in its 20th year. This event was started in 2002 in the United States for women and families who would have experienced loss to engage with each other, to interact with each other. So at the Fury Foundation, we have a series of events. Our next event carded is on the 15th of October. It's an awareness walk. And the reason why it is we decided to do a walk this year is because of the team. The team said Stepping Stones. So how could you look at a team that initiates a stepping stone without taking a walk to remember your loss? So our initiative would have started with a live Facebook chat that already passed, and we have our awareness walk on the 15th, and our international wave of light is carded for the same 15th at the Scarborough General Hospital. And this wave of light is something that it resonates with a sort of hope and passion and resilience, not for just me, but for persons around the world. Because when it is we in Tobago light our candle at 7 p.m. for an hour in another dimension, in another country, someone is lighting a candle to remember all the babies that would have gone too soon.
Are all these candles coming together, or is it wherever you are, wherever you live, you just light that candle?
You have two options because of when we started this initiative in Tobago in 2020, we was in the heat of the pandemic.
Right.
So we had to do it virtually. So for the past 2 years, we would have been doing this event virtually with the world. But this year, by God's grace, we pray that the hospital will grant us the opportunity to come physically and gather to remember all these babies that would have gone too soon. But it does not eliminate the fact that if you would like, in the privacy of your own home, you can light a candle in honor of your loss as well.
All right, well, I really want to thank you, and it's, it's a topic that we can never exhaust.
No.
Because as you said, 1 in 4 pregnancies.
1 in 4 pregnancies.
And that's one too many.
One too many.
All right. So thank you again for being with us on the
Thank you for
program
having
this
me.
morning. Always a pleasure.
Always
Viewers,
a pleasure.
lots more coming up on the program. I tell you, all roads lead to North Side. The Blue Food Festival is back. Coming up just after the break, Julian is going to be chatting with our next guest as we focus on blue food. Share the live, share the live, share the live.
Are you ready? On Sunday 23rd October at the Dwight York Stadium, featuring a man who understands the assignment. Attention, Jesus, I get sick of it. The Ladies' Choice.
Girl, you got the body of a goddess. Some girl I talk, tell them, say them happy.
Jamaica's hitmaker.
I tell us, say me, now worry about no. As long as me got life.
DJ.
Me get out the road, so she want love the woman of me yard.
Sunday, October 23rd, 3 a.m. to 10 a.m.
At the Dwight York Stadium is water,
Paint, foam,
powder,
coolers, and bikinis.
and breakfast in the biggest Troubaix Fred and Tobago Carnival.
Soca Jam.
Soca Jam.
When you see I lose it, it's for the love of carnival.
put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Morning viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. In this segment we are chatting with Darlington Chance, and he's a Blue Food Committee member, and we're speaking about the Blue Food Festival is back. All right, morning to you, sir.
Good morning, sir.
All right, and how are you doing this morning?
Well, not too bad. Welcome.
Excellent. So we understand that this is the return of the Blue Food Festival. Tell us, when is it scheduled to take place this year?
It's scheduled to take place on the 16th of October, which is Sunday coming.
All right. And what kind of time frame, what can we expect? Now, the last time we had Blue Food, during the pandemic, I remember driving up on that side and you had to make a booking for your meal, and you pass and pick up because you know the limitations of the pandemic.
Virtual way.
Right. Tell us, what can we expect with this full return for 2022?
Well, this return of the Blue Food after the pandemic is going to be like the last one we had in 2019, right? They're not going to have any villagers pass anymore, right? Because of research work done by the police department, they set up a system where people can drive down instead of the shuckling, and people have to be parking their cars and all of that. So once you get in early, they said early bird get the best of food. So if you get in early, you should be able to get a park. They have the police with motorbikes and bicycles managing the traffic. So whenever there is no space down there, then they would make the announcement to the other people at the top, right, where it starts. So they would tell you, well, you have to park now.
Okay.
Right?
All right. So tell us, so we're going to be seeing the return to persons on the field in terms of booths and so on. Give us an idea of what's the setup and some of the things that we will have access to for this Blue Food Festival.
Right. So we have the Blue Food shop, and then the Blue Food where you're getting the food, right? There are two venues, one at the Blue Food site and the other one is on the field. Right? So on the field we have the Blue Food shop where you could get the farmers market. You're gonna have the zoo. This guy from Mason Hall come with a zoo. He have snakes, all of that. On that side, you're going to have also the Dashin shop with different products. They also want to involve a lot of farmers this year, right? Because the farmers are the ones that produce the Blue Food, right? And they think that they've been left out. So this year, there is a slogan that I got from the Secretary for Agriculture, and she said no one should be left behind. So this year, the farmers, they have their farmer shop. They're going to have, last year we had the largest Dashin, right? This year we're going to have the largest Dashin again, right? And we're going to have the farmers, the people from the agriculture division, they are coming to witness that you pull that Dashin from your garden. We didn't include the planting last year, or the couple of years before, but this year we have the planting, where it's going to be the heaviest planting. So they are coming to check to see your heaviest planting, right? Most weight, where the price is like 1,000, first price, second price 600, Dashin is 600 for the biggest Dashin, and the person have to bring the Dashin with the leaf. So on that side, they have all that is included in Blue Food shop. And then on the Blue Food side, that is where we have the real thing, where we have stage performance. We have singers like, let me just run through and give you some of their names.
Not a problem at all.
Some of the top singers that we're going to have. on the Blue Food
You see
this
that
year.
you have a lineup.
Yeah, entertainment. We have Show in Winchester. We have Second Stars, right?
Second
Ronnie
Star,
McIntosh, Johnny King, Prince Unique, Cassell Jamat Steel Band Orchestra, Adana Roberts, Keishan Jack, and much more. We also have a young entertainer, 10 years old. He's coming to give his experience to the people. So in the future, we hope it to be another Keishan Jack coming out from the northeast of Tobago.
All right. And I see you have an excellent in terms of the entertainment lineup for persons. So tell us, for this person coming for the first time, what's the ideal time to head up to the north side?
Well, it starts at 10.
Right.
Right? Stage performance would start about 3. Before the stage performance, they are hoping that the people should come in with their food. They have a lock-off time to avoid traffic and vehicle driving through that area at 9:30. So the food vendor should be in by 9:30. So those who didn't come in for 9 will have to drop off and then walk in with their food.
Right, so particularly vendors need to know that they have to be there early enough in order to get their stuff on the inside. Tell us as well, for those persons who would be there throughout the day, we're going to have our usual wide variety, whether it's dasheen ice cream, whether it's the cake, whether it's the food, the provision, and I'm talking about it, and I'm ready to have that meal.
Yes.
Tell us.
Well, one of the things that they didn't do last year that they bring this year, it's a novelty game event, right? Where when they launched the Blue Food in September in Trinidad, where they went to some of these malls,
right?
Like the one in South and a couple in Port of Spain, right? They had this competition, they call it the novelty event, where they put your hands behind your back and you have to eat the biscuit or something like that. So it's something like fun. That would start at 10:30, right? So by the time you come there and you get your food and all of that and you finish eating and the stage performance isn't ready to perform as yet, we get all these attractions to you, right? So you could enter, it's free, you doesn't have to pay for that. You come and you sign up, register, right? And then they would start the game, you know, where you get to enjoy that. They also have a card playing game, right? I think it's someone they show on TV that you put down the card and you turn up, you look at it, and then you have to they put it back and they look for another one. So you have to look for something matching. And when you pick up the one that is matching, you win prizes. You would win prizes like momobilas that they have, like bags, Blue Food bags, or other different things. Right? All these are activities before the Blue Food Festival.
Before we wrap this morning's interview, I also want you to share particularly, you seem to be someone who has been involved in the Blue Food Festival for some time.
Yeah.
And I realize how important is it for what we see definitely as the continued involvement of villagers and those persons from the north side in ensuring the success of the Blue Food Festival from year to year. How do you feel seeing the growth from where things would have started to what you see now as the celebration of Blue Food?
Yeah, well, I am quite happy. I am quite happy. There are certain things that, you know, you wouldn't get it to your expectation. But from when we started in 1998, when it was introduced by, was the Secretary for Tourism at the time, what's his name? Mr. Beard. Mr. Beard introduced that and something that he went on. So that started in Lansome. It lasts 4 years. And from there, the event started to grow. So they said, look, we have to look for a bigger area. So we end up on Bloody Bay. And because we had to have a bigger area, the first year or 2 years, we had problems with supporting food. They couldn't produce enough food for the people. So they came together and we said, as a North Side combined, there's a unity that we have in the North Side of Tobago, right? Where we involve Castara, Palatavia and all these. So as the committee, we went to these villages and asked them to partake with us and assist. But Castara told us, look, we have enough events. So you all could go ahead and we'd assist in any other way, right? But this is something for you all in that area to gain something. We have enough activities going on in Castara. So we deal with, they come to take people from Bloody Bay, people from Palatavere, right? And form this group so they could get more food. And today is, I think, is one of the biggest events, you know, in Tobago. It used to be the Lansome thing, but now we go, when tourism took it over, they make it Tobago Blue Food Festival.
Yes,
and I don't have a problem
the
with
whole
it.
of Tobago and even those coming across from, from Trinidad to head to the festival. So again, just before we wrap this morning, remind us about the date and let people know where they need to be and from what time.
Yes, the place to be is northeast of Tobago at the Bloody Bay Recreation Ground from 10 a.m. until 7 p.m., hoping that the police give us a little half an hour break.
10 a.m. till.
Yeah. So we can enjoy. So come, enjoy a lot. There's a lot to enjoy, a lot to see. If you never see certain things before, big snakes and all of that, right? This is the time to see it, right? So we're looking out for your support. We are asking God to give us a very nice and sunny day. So the people in Tobago, and not even Tobago alone, because there are people coming all the way from the UK. Because I had a call yesterday, right? And these people asking, is Blue Food still on? We are here for the weekend, right? Where we could do. I said, come to the Blue Food as usual, right? So for all the people, Trinidad and Tobago, right? The place to be on the 16th is Bloody Bay, right?
All right, excellent. So thank you very much, Mr. Darlington Chance, our Blue Food Committee member. As we speak, so the Blue Food Festival is back. An indication and a reminder to persons, Sunday, one place to be, and that is head up to the north side on Sunday. As he indicated to you, it starts from 10 a.m. There's going to be live performances, there's going to be games, there's going to be food, there's going to be entertainment. You don't want to miss out on this celebration. The Tobago Blue Food Festival takes place again and coming back in its full form for 2022 here following the pandemic. So we encourage each and every one of you to ensure that you head out to enjoy the celebrations that are and place for you. And I particularly want to extend my commendations to the north side, Castara, Bloody Bay, Palatavere, you know, what is essentially that kind of community spirit and coming together and really seeming to be leading the thrust in the Tobago space when it comes to tourism without any kind of extensive THA support. They're making it happen on the north side. So commendations and shout out to each and every one of you viewing from the north side Tobago this morning. All right, well done indeed. Viewers, we want to continue to thank you so much for your love and support. As we remind you, at this point, we wrap the Tobago Updates morning show and remind you that you head on over to GMT with Candace. Do have a great day, folks, and continue to stay tuned. And thank you so much for continuing to choose Tobago Updates. Bye-bye for now. See you tomorrow.
Retired sport coordinator Charmaine A. Archer is the third member of her family to become part of the Distinguished Society of Trinidad and Tobago, of which the president is chancellor. This honor comes after Miss Archer was awarded the Hummingbird Medal Silver for sport in the area of netball. She was honored at this year's National Awards ceremony.
It is good feeling because you're recognized for the hard work and dedication that you would have put out, and it also indicates that your contribution was a significant and impactful one.
Miss Archer has been involved in sport since childhood. She attended Bonaccord Government Primary School, where she competed in track and field. Her passion continued at Bishop's High School in the form of basketball, netball, athletics, hockey, badminton, and tennis. Her administrative abilities revealed themselves during her secondary school days. Decades later, Miss Archer has retired, having held various management positions, particularly in the field of netball. This national awardee believes that sport is critical to our society's development.
It brings so many people from varying stratas of society together. It does a lot for us in terms of healthy lifestyles where you get involved in sport and sporting activities, and it also provides avenues beyond being a sportman for persons to pursue their careers in life.
In 2006, Charmaine's mother, Annetta Archer, received the Hummingbird Medal Gold for education. The senior Mrs. Archer was a well-known educator who opened a preschool, the Canaan Nursery School, in 1947. It's an academic institution that's still molding and developing young minds today. In 2019, Charmaine's sister, late sporting icon Martha Archer, was awarded the Hummingbird Medal Gold in the area of sport. Like Charmaine, Martha was also heavily involved in netball.
I call myself a member of our elite family. It's an honor to be among them, but it's just that we come from a family where I think volunteerism and giving back and that stuff is just etched in our DNA. We just used to that, we grew up into that, and all of us, we just love being a part of something that you do responsible and rewarding activities, and it's a good feeling.
Aside from Miss Archer, Tobago had other notable names on the national awards list. Athlete Dwight St. Hilaire, Hummingbird Medal Gold for Sport Track. Athlete Akani Hislop, Hummingbird Medal Silver for Sport Track. And retired Permanent Secretary Vel Lewis, Public Service Medal of Merit Silver for Public Service and Heritage Preservation.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Yeah. Hey. Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago.
Welcome to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, your source for current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad and the region. With the perfect conversations to complement your morning routine, I am Candace Jackson, and let's get started with the news in 90 seconds. Rainy weather conditions undermined several roads in Tobago over the weekend. On Saturday, 2 landslides occurred at Bad Rock in Kendall along the Windward Road, preventing the free flow of traffic. Upon inspection, the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development determined that the area was unstable. The landslides also undermined a nearby home. The division announced the road is closed to regular vehicular traffic except for buses and large vehicles until it is safe. Meanwhile, another landslide occurred along Idlewild Road, threatening a more significant portion of the roadway. Motorists are advised to use alternative routes to get to their destination until further notice. Meanwhile, Tobago West MP Shampa Kajo gave wrong information in Parliament last week about increasing airplanes on Caribbean Airlines. During her contribution to the budget debate last week, Kajo stated that the government was ready to purchase 9 new ATR planes for CAL.
The international press picked up on the story, but the Tobago West MP admitted that she got the information wrong. Instead, the government is attempting to purchase 2 new ATR planes, bringing the total fleet of ATR planes on CAL to 9. And nationally, the People's National Movement will open its nomination day process for candidates today. All 15 positions are up for grabs, including that of political leader, which is currently held by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley. Nominations are expected to be filed at the PNM Central Regional Office in Shogunas. PNM sources were tight-lipped on Sunday when asked if Rowley will file his nomination today, according to a newspaper article. Up to late Sunday, there were no other challengers for the post of political leader except for former Finance Minister Karen Nunes Teixeira. The PNM internal election is scheduled for December 4th. And that was your news in 90 seconds. And just leading up from our last story there about the PNM's internal elections, and of course this is the national party, and over the past few years we had internal elections for the Tobago Council of the PNM, but here we're speaking towards the national party itself, of course currently led by Dr. Keith Rowley. But we have on the line for us the one known challenger, and that is none other than former Finance Minister, Ms. Karen Nunes Teixeira. Good morning and welcome to you, ma'am.
Good morning to you, good morning to your viewers, good morning to Tobago, and of course Trinidad and Tobago and your listeners.
It's great to have you on. Now, you have put forward your name for political leader, or you're putting forward your name. You're going to be nominated, I guess, a little later today. But what led to your decision to challenge the leadership of the party?
Yes, a question I've had asked a few times, but I think everyone has a right to get to the broader audience. So to start with, I think within the last 3 years or so, when I look back, I started writing a number of articles, which I hoped would have been positive and received in terms of encouraging one on tourism. By the way, I looked at the Tobago House of Assembly plans for tourism, was so well articulated, Tobago arts and antiquities, and the way they structured it and broke it down. But to get back to your question, I started writing articles I hoped would reach the relevant ministry. I think it reached the Ministry of Tourism because one of the things I advocated for was cultural tourism. I see it's now called tourism, culture and arts. I talked about agro industry. I also spoke about a number of other articles that disturbed me. So after a period of time, I became more and more politically, not sensitive because I always was, but probably more taking on the role that I had sort of backed off for a few years. And then to end it, finally, I was actually approached to take up the position of leader. And after some persuasion, but not too much, I did agree to do it. Because I thought it was the right thing to do.
Now, looking forward to your to the elections and possibly being elected as a new political leader, what difference do you hope to bring to the party?
Well, I think that sometimes the headlines, and I don't think the headlines are intended to be misleading or sensational. I really do not think so, because my experience with any of the persons from the media, whether print or electronic, has been very fair and balanced. But what I will say in answer to your question, I see that we all know now, it's not, it's in the papers all over the discussion, there's a level of cynicism, despondency, sense of lack of touch within the government, of which I am a member in the party and a lifetime member. So I think we've got to start from the roots, so to speak, from the foundation to build that house. And I think my role, and hopefully it will come to pass, will be to help, or I should say help, facilitate us going back to our initial moorings, which are very positive. If you look at the aims and objectives set out in the PNM Constitution and the structure, I think there's need for the restructure to be more simplified because we are living in a digitalized world. I think there's opportunities for us to go the communication route more, so that messages that affect not only current registrants, but encourage others to join, because ultimately the more that you have in the party, the more that you have voting for you in a general election. So my aim is to stay true to the objectives and to assist where I can in building up the morale of the party, encouraging transparency and accountability. And I think it starts with the party structure and leadership.
Okay. Now in Tobago, well, we know that Tobago Council of the PNM has been a pretty strong force within the party itself. And, we know that Dr. Raleigh has, been a celebrated leader within that space, of course, being Tobago born and so on. Now, when you think about the Tobago Council of the PNM, how do you plan to relate to Tobagonians in the party that would rival that of Dr. Raleigh's?
Well, I mean no disrespect at all, so please take it any way that is intended. But you look at what happened with the Tobago House of Assembly elections when it had to be recalled, and for our wee boy, which is the very Tobago expression, for our wee boy party to have gotten the kind of results where it was 14-1, says that a lot of work needs to be done, not only in Trinidad, but in Tobago. And I hope that the Tobago Council will also be, if I am successful, responsive to my suggestions, because clearly work needs to be done. The best way to judge a party, judge anything, is results. And we can make a lot of excuses, and some of them are very valid, and some of them need to be retweaked, re-looked at. And we're in a different world, the world of digitalization. We're dealing with a different cohort of voters. And I think we have to understand that anything that we found, you have to contextualize it, and you have to look and see and be honest and objective with yourself and see, well, listen, if you could get that kind of result, then something has to not be right, or something is not being done. So my answer to your question is the same answer that I would give to the Trinidad Council, our executive. If I am chosen to be the political leader, then my role is to help to build back, or I shouldn't say build back, but increase or facilitate the transparency and accountability that seems to be a major stumbling block for the party at this moment.
Now, one of the major things coming out from the Tobago Council of the PNM over the years is that push for internal self-governance, even in the way that they have set up the or push for more autonomy for the Tobago Council to have that that self-governance structure that would sort of align with what Tobago wants within the government system itself. How do you feel about internal self-governance for the THA?
Well, I can understand that. We appreciate it, and if we choose to ignore it and put our heads in the sand, we're doing it at our great risk. This move that you're seeing is something is almost universal globally on different levels and different things. Whether we're talking about persons talking about having to make amends for slavery, Black Lives Matter, people complaining, people of color and so on, standing up and saying enough is enough, we want to be recognized. So if Tobago says that, obviously, I don't think they're talking about foreign policy. I think they want to say that they want to have more say. And I was on a show with the chief secretary, and he brought home to me the extent to which my understanding of the poll, it's not just words, but he said, for example, there was a bill that had been sent to Trinidad to be presented to the parliament. And according to him, it's about 2 or 3 years now. We had COVID, it's true, but they're part of the bills. And yet it has not been passed. Now, why should Tobago, in my respectful opinion, be put in that position? Many times people use this argument, or what does Tobago bring to the table? Well, I've done many interviews with Dr. B. Israel, with the James brothers, when we had it on another station. So I got a better understanding. And I know that there is the argument, well, at the end of the day, and the Dispute Resolution Commission, all of that. But people have to realize that when a government subsidizes, as they do in England, the rail and the bus, as essential services, essential service is keeping us as a nation, because if we cannot physically, is not are not able to be as one, because we can't take a car, but we could put a car on the boat, but we can't take a car there, then we have to make sure we do the things that people feel that they're part. Also, to the issue that has been brought up, which I won't give a particular opinion on, but what was noted is that when they drew up the water lines or they never put the boundaries. They were all internal boundaries. And two other things were brought to my attention. Of course, the natural gas. Gas is very important. The gas is important for the downstream industries. Another thing that they brought up that I thought I had not known about was that in the same way they say that China won't supposedly attack Taiwan, which of course does all the parts for the Apple and all these other major computer devices. The point is, it's the channel through which China must pass in order to get to the West. And I was advised that there's a channel between Trinidad and Tobago for boats to pass to reach into Trinidad. So it's far more complicated than that. And so to answer your question more directly, I don't think anybody should be against Tobago wanted autonomy, more autonomy. And how do we do that and keep the state of Trinidad and Tobago as one? I don't know how much time I have left, but I did want to raise a question, but you can go ahead and as long as I get an opportunity.
I don't know what are the questions that you want to raise, and of course that has to do with the election process for the internal elections. Now we know that the actual election day is December 4th, but I think it's on the 25th, 24th or something like of November. There's a election for the special voters, and you had concern about the length of time between the time the special voters cast their ballots and the general membership.
Yes. So first of all, I want to say to Mr. Roberts, who is in charge and who was a colleague of mine, it was never done with any, and I can assure you, with any intention to be mischievous or in any way like that. It was rarely done out of my, I suppose I was baffled. And I knew that with the short time frame we had before we actually had the elections on December the 4th, that to go in and speak to him, I said, okay, but that does not help anybody. Just me talking to him, and then I can interpret what he said, how I want to interpret it. He interpreted what he said, and then you add more to the confusion. So one of the things that I will tell him, thank you very much for his prompt response in the newspaper, which is exactly what was needed in this short time frame, not for private, but for the public to know, because it's the public that I was seeking for their interest. But I just want to say with regard to that, the concern really is, and he said there was never ever one day, it was 2 days because of the special voters. But okay, so that's the 26th and the 27th. But the 4th, and in the 4th, he did not say, at least I didn't read him saying that on the 4th you could vote again. So there is 3 days of voting. And what is most troubling, instead of the voting being consecutive and closed off, you have a big gap between the 27th and the 4th of December, where you can vote at the actual convention. Okay, so, and that is when the ballot box, you then count the ballots. Now that has to be a matter of concern, because the EBC, for example, is an independent body. And if you've ever been involved in any exercise involved in voting, they are extremely careful about how those boxes are handled and stored, and the actual counting is undertaken, because they leave no room, or they want to leave no room for any mischief. So for you to say that we just added one more day, but is that really the answer? Because you have spaced it out to 9 days, because you've also allowed to vote on the 4th. And who has those boxes? Is it the same people whose interests, I don't want to be, that's politics. Is it the same people whose interests they are going to be serving? I would imagine that the persons who are heading up the voting process would be persons who would, as a general rule, I don't know it as a fact, but it only stands to reason, that they would be positively inclined to a certain slate. And that does not give one a sense of comfort. EBC is independent. Why that period of time? And then the answer was, they are safe. What does that mean? What does that mean? And what also got me very concerned was that he said that we told everybody since August 11th, well, listen, if the tree fell in the forest and nobody heard it fall, it didn't fall. We are in the age of digitalization. We are in the age of social media. I think, Mr. Roberts, it really would have been more helpful because for me to have asked you the question, it means I've been asked the question. And maybe some of us may be being a little delinquent. I accept that. But I think more should be done on that part. But I think one of the things that we could do and what is allowed is when the polling is over, which has been done for several years, external polling, that you can ask persons as they leave the polling station, they are free to say or not to say who they voted for. They might not tell you the truth. They may not answer, but it gives you an idea of where you stand. But I thank Mr. Roberts for his prompt response. I'm not sure that it satisfied my concerns or maybe the concerns of others, but thank you for giving me that very prompt response.
All right, great. Well, we're out of time, Mrs. Karen Nunes-Teixeira, but we hope that we can actually see you in Tobago over the next few weeks as you do your campaign.
I want to come. By the way, I was there the other day with my grandchildren, who told me, grand, that's what they call me. Grand. Yes, I know it doesn't do anything for my ego, but you know what? When you love your grandchildren.
Of course.
Grand, that was the best holiday. That was the best holiday we had. Best holiday. So I had a lovely time. So I'm looking forward. Hopefully THA will welcome me because we are Trinidad and Tobago. And regardless of what, I am a lifetime member of the PNL. I see myself as that. I'm not against, I'm not challenging as they're putting it. I hopefully want to make a contribution and I hope it will be received that way.
Okay, great. And we look forward to having more conversations with you leading up to the elections.
Thank you very much and thank you for the interview.
All right, awesome. Well, viewers, we have a lot more coming up for you on the program, so please don't go anywhere because we'll be back right after this break.
Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Shop! Are you ready? On Sunday 23rd October at the Dwight York Stadium, featuring a man who understands the assignment. Attention, Jesus, I get sick of it. The Ladies' Choice.
Girl, you got the body of a goddess. Some girl attack, tell them, say them happy.
Jamaica's hitmaker.
I tell us, say me now worry about no. As long as me got life.
TJ.
Me get out the road, so she wanna love the woman on me yard.
Sunday, October 23rd, 3 a.m. to 10 a.m.
At the Dwight York Stadium is water,
paint, foam,
powder,
coolers, and bikinis.
And breakfast in the biggest two-day flat and Tobago carnival.
Soca Jam.
Soca Jam.
When you see I lose it, it's for the love of carnival. Yeah. Hey. Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denise. Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise. The energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up
welcome back to Good Morning Tobago, and I am joined by none other than Mr. Junior Benjamin, acting senior soup. Junior Benjamin, how are you doing this morning, sir?
Well, in a little bit of pain, but I'm
in a
good.
little bit of pain? You care to share with the viewers why you're in a little bit of pain this morning?
Well, again, we had our first annual, I should say, Tobago Division Sports and Family Day. And again, you want to, again, try to believe that you were young. You know, I mean, I had some very good history in my days. So I attempted, you know, the football. And again, I recognized that I'm not as young as I used to be. But then I went and do 100 meters. And again, I think I performed well, you know, given my age. But I was not able to come first. Second is still good. It's still a medal. But again, the effects after that is that you recognize there is wear and tear on the body. So I have to take it a bit easy.
Well, I mean, that goes to show your viewers, if you didn't get to attend yesterday's sports day, you missed out. So you missed out. Yeah, so, I mean, and we're looking forward to more of these events in the future.
Yes, certainly. The thing about it is that I think we must be fair. Sometimes when the police working, we must work hard. But when we have fun, we must play hard as well. And it's a very good thing. I want to commend Zone 1, which is Scarborough, and all the different departments that is within Scarborough. They came first overall. But every zone won, so that's the beauty about it. Zone 1, which is Crom Point and Chevron, they won the football. And Zone 3, which is Moriah, Roxborough, and Charlottesville, they won the match pass. So everybody won, so we were all winners. And I think we had a wonderful, wonderful time, So we're grateful. And again, it just shows you we're trying to develop the family spirit, because the work has a way that it can carry you into a lot of things, but we need to develop the family spirit.
And then speaking about, you know, just some of the heavy things that we deal with within our space, especially you as police officers. We had a murder on Friday. Someone was chopped to death, a young man was chopped to death. So what updates can you share with us in regards to that murder?
Well, it's still presently under investigation. However, again, we want to say condolences to the family. What we recognize is that, again, the type of things that we see in the homicides, it is not, and I think just to alleviate any sort of fear, it is not the type of homicides where you're seeing, you know, drug-related, or, you know, it's about, you know, gangs taking over a city or anything like that. It's not that type. What you see, it is more domestic type. And what I want to employ and to encourage persons, it's important that we start to teach our young people the importance of problem solving, how we go about dealing with conflict. When we fail to do that, and we fail to operate with that, what I call emotional intelligence, where you're able to have control over yourself, I think you become out of control, and then one thing leads to the next, and we have these useless killings coming out. So again, it's unfortunate, but again, we are on number 8. It means that we were trying to see how we could reduce it so that we don't have to have as much as last year. But last year we have 7, already 8, so it means that we are going to certainly be above what we had last year. But nevertheless, I think we could take some comfort in the fact that I think out of all the divisions, we're still probably one of the highest in terms of our detection rate of murders. And therefore, I think right now, from our last, we had 7, 3 were solved thus far. And with this one, we also have a suspect that is engaging the attention of the police. We believe that how the investigation is going, that we can have some, again, more persons, as the case may be, or at least something positive coming out of this. So again, this one might be 4 out of 8, and that will be 50%. So that is very good thus far.
And how, out of the 8 murders that we've had on record so far, how many are domestic related, and then how many are related to, you know, drug activity and that sort of thing?
That's a very good question. I didn't work with that information, but I can say I know for sure the last 2 murders in particular was certainly more domestic. And again, we recognize that. I know, again, we had some drugs, one that was more revenge killing and so on. So what you recognize is that you have that kind of play within the Tobago space, which is slightly different to what you see in Trinidad.
Certainly.
All right. We don't have much of the drugs, but more so kind of revenge kind of things is where domestic, where a person conflict with a neighbor and a person, either gets so angry that they started to fight and one thing leads to the next. But again, what we want to do is to see how we can solve these problems. We want to see how we can, again, have the police go into the community and help the community deal with some of these problems by having some, anger management classes. We want to see how we could have some conflict resolution scenarios and situations where we can talk to persons and see how we can deal with land disputes and all these things, so that we can ensure in the future that we don't have a further repercussion of something of this nature.
Certainly. And even moving on, though, we also had some shooting incidents over the weekend, one particularly in Wim.
Yes. So again, unfortunately, we recognize that firearm is a weapon of choice in terms of most of our crimes that we're seeing. And again, Tobago, seem to be, again, catching the cold whenever, Trinidad sneeze, and we recognize that firearms are wrong. What I want to say in relation to that, again, the hard work of the police, we were able to have at least a couple suspects. They are presently in police custody, and they are engaging our attention in terms of trying to have a positive resolution to this. So again, we continue to work, and where we cannot stop crime, we are seeking to ensure that we improve our detection rate, so that persons could feel absolutely safe even as we come and we are going into the carnival season. We are going to have more police on the island. We're going to be having more robust patrols. We are going to see the presence of the police. And therefore, the police service, we are up to the challenge. We are telling persons that Tobago is not the place to be if you want to commit crime. We are going to be on the prowl. We are going to be dealing with crime in a very severe way. And we are saying once persons want to break the law, we are going to have a no-nonsense approach to that.
No, I mean, I might be wrong, and you could correct me. Was there high-powered firearms involved with that shooting?
Yes, certainly. From the footage that we've seen that there was a high-powered firearm. Or what seemed to be a high-powered firearm used in that. And the thing is, those persons are hiding those things in the homes of somebody. All right, and somebody knows about it. And what we are saying is that a lot of times, if the public does not assist us, then again, we would be at a loss. The police service needs the police. The police needs the citizens need the police. Police needs the citizens. It is a symbiotic relationship. And therefore, we are saying to persons, if you see something, say something. Come on, let's work together. We can make Tobago a safer place, but we need each and every one of us to understand that crime is everybody's business. So therefore, if you see something suspicious, let us know. Again, sometimes people are scared that, if I say something, it will come back to me. I am saying we have so many police officers you could trust. And I'm saying if you can't find anybody, trust the senior soup. Call the senior soup, 625, 639-2511. You call and say you want to talk to the senior superintendent, and let us have a talk. I'm going to ensure that whatever you say remain in total confidence, and we are going to ensure that we get rid of all these unwanted criminals.
And there's also the 800 tips hotline.
Right, exactly, and the 999. All these things are, again, anonymous calls that could be made, and once you, and the beauty about it is that once you able to, to ensure that the problem or the crime is solved, you can have a reward at the end of it as well. So again, we want to employ persons to tap on all these resources. It is all there for your safety, and it is there so that you could help as well. So we are grateful that for all those who are willing to do that.
Are we seeing an increase in home invasions on the island at this point in time?
Well, the truth is, I cannot attest to say that we are seeing an increase in that. What we recognize is that there is an increase in the trend, especially coming out of, what we've seen overall, that there is an increased trend in that regard. And therefore, what we're trying our very best to do is to really make persons aware of that kind of trend. If you see, or you see that whole idea of, home invasion, what you must do, how could we stop it? How can we deter it? And then if you happen to have it, how you should deal with it. And that is why I believe it is something very pertinent and something that we should look at, especially here. But to say that it is happening right now, very few what we're seeing increase in robberies. And again, more and more we see our criminals are becoming more brazen. So therefore we are saying now it is important for us to have this discussion.
Are the criminals that are conducting these brazen robberies and so on, are they from Tobago or are they from Trinidad? What's happening where that's concerned?
Well, again, we believe that we have a mixture because, again, we have persons who are associated with persons in Trinidad, but they are also, we have those who are here who, again, they are what we call priority offenders. So as a police service, we constantly look at our priority offenders and we constantly try to keep them in check. And therefore, we also look at the associates. And we also look at that in order to see when we find persons coming in, where they are going. So we are doing our own intelligence to ensure that at least, you know, when persons come into the island, especially as we going into the carnival period, we want to ensure that we have that Ministry of National Security meeting where we have both our military persons and non-military persons that help in security, be it those on the airport security and those on the seaport security, that we are all on the same page. We are going to be having that meeting coming up sometime this week again, where we are touching base. Again, what we want to do is to build that level of collaboration. We want to build that level of stakeholder partnership. Those things are important for us, even as a police service, as we seek to, you know, improve that thrust towards, you know, fulfilling our vision, which is to make every place safe in Trinidad and Tobago.
So are we going to see some Defense Force persons, Coast Guard, just more of those people on the streets for Carnival?
Well, certainly, and I just, as you said that, and just last week I had a conversation with the Defense Force across here and the leaders, and we are bringing back our joint police and army patrol, and that will be starting very soon. And again, it is all in gear of ensuring that, again, we work together to ensure safety on the island. So again, quite a number of initiatives would be coming on place and on stream to ensure, especially as we go into the carnival, that Tobago will be a safer place. And the Defense Force has already pledged a commitment. We have pledged our commitment in principle, and we are putting things in place to ensure, again, once again, we start back that joint army and police patrol. So that you can look forward to, you know, very, very soon.
I know you also spoke to some of the success you've had in solving robberies in Tobago. Can you tell me, you know, just give me some statistics? Are you able to give me some statistics on how the police has been able to crack down on those criminal elements?
Well, again, what we recognize is that so far we have seen an increase in robberies. However, I do not have the actual numbers of robberies that we have solved thus far. However, when we look at it, though, we recognize that most of those robberies, when we look at the genesis, the main ones, and I'm talking here, we have those robberies where persons are going into vehicles and then they are taken to a place and they are again asked, so they are relieved of their you know, either their wallets, their purse, etc. All right, it's not the ones like what we had with the credit union where persons come in with that firearm and hold up the persons and that kind of stuff. Those we have solved. We have recently had that breakthrough with a couple that was, again, they went around holding up persons. But again, we still, we are hearing of different situations where persons are still being held up, either for one reason or the next. And we are saying, again, we have some work to do, and we are not denying it. And we want to see that we bring those things to some speedy resolution. So again, only when we have the support of the public coming to share with us, we are able to deal with it. So again, we want to really ask the citizenry, let's work together and let's make sure that we have a safer Trinidad and Tobago and more so Tobago division.
Now, as you mentioned, the support of the public, part of the safety of the public is what we as citizens can do to protect ourselves. So in the case of, you know, where our homes are concerned, what are some simple tips or some simple guidelines that we can all follow to ensure that our homes and our properties are kept safe?
Right, and I like to start with what I call, there's a 3D principle that I tell people. First is what we call, we must deter. And you start to deter by simply starting as simple as lighting up your place. That is a deterrent to any person who is thinking twice of trying to at least have some kind of home invasion. Because you have so much light that a person is going to think, oh my goodness, if that light only comes on, you understand, they become bare because people are going to see you. So therefore, once you have a well-lit area, we are saying that is where it starts. And even when you do that, we tell people to add to that, ever so often, if you think something, have that unpredictable item. While the person is, let's just say they want to come through the window, you understand? You put that, in Sesame Street, they call it rubber ducky.
Yes.
You have that rubber ducky right on it. So as they mash, that's quick, So with that person one time, say, oh my goodness, I get caught, So you put things in place, probably a little, skateboard by the door. So as soon as they push the door, it falls, it makes a noise. You can put simple things, children toys that will make a noise, all right, so that intruder coming in, hears that noise, you understand? They want to escape, they want to find some way to get out instead of coming in. So we encourage persons to get into that. We also ask for robust security. And when we say robust security, you will not believe one of the greatest robust security. It is not necessarily one of those things that you have where you call in a security firm. One of the greatest robust security is a dog. You understand? And one of the best ways you can deter people is just right on that gate. You understand? Beware of the dog. Now, the thing about it is that you can say beware of the dog and there is no dog. But hello, it is something else when you say beware of the dog and there is a dog. So I always say, have a dog inside there. It could be a potong, it doesn't matter. Just get a dog there that could bark very good, and so on. But at least that in itself.
The TTSPCA has a lot of dogs, so I'm just throwing that out for you. Take a trip down and adopt some dogs.
Get a dog. So again, that could also help. Even in that. But let's say, there's deterrent. The next thing is that we have to look at detection. How do, in the event that a person breaks into my house, how am I able to detect? And therefore, we want to encourage persons to have a good security system. You see, a lot of times, in order for persons to be detected, you need a high quality, camera system. Right. And a lot of times we spend money, but we don't want to spend too much. But it doesn't make sense. It's better you get something of good quality so that you can be able to identify an individual by their face. Sometimes what they do or we do, we put it in positions where, again, a person, you're able to see the decor of your house. So when you see them, oh, my house looks nice, But the thing about it, if the bandit or if the invader comes in, you can't even recognize him because the house looking so nice from a distance that the only scene is just, you can't even identify. And the thing is, it does not make much sense to have those cameras, in positions where you're not able to identify. You want to get them close enough where you're able to identify. If a person comes in, you've seen the face and you're able to identify certain features about the individuals so that we can have identification. And, even as we talk about that, sometimes you want to look at that in relation to the sun and all, because sometimes you have it facing the sun so that anything that facing the sun, it looks very dark. So all these things are things that we can put together to make sure that we have a better.
All right, great. I want to thank you so much, Junior Benjamin, for being on with us and just giving us an idea of what's been happening and most importantly, what we can do. And like you said, perhaps it's a good time to consider getting a dog. Yes, go down to the TTSPCA. They have a number of dogs that need good homes. And please, of course, when you adopt those dogs, take care of them, love them, treat them good, and they would protect you. And it doesn't matter what breed you get, just love them and they would love you back. All right, viewers, so that's it that we have for you. That's all we have for you on the program this morning. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you again tomorrow at 7 a.m. Bye for now.
I say thanks for favor to wake up and